Hello, hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy to be making this video today. I've touched upon exercise in regards to chronic illness, probably within vlogs over the years and as little sections of my general health videos and health update videos, but I've never done a dedicated and focused video about it, and that's because I really wanted to get to a point where I have perhaps tried out various things to help me with that side of my life that I could then share with you. And also, I don't know, I tend to do these chatty videos and I talk about my feelings about them, but I don't necessarily always offer like solutions or remedies or things that might actually be helpful to you. And I've been very aware of that. So I wanted to be able to, you know, draw attention to the subject and talk about it, which I think is necessary and important, but also be able to point you in the direction of things that I think could be helpful to some of you. I'm really chuffed that Modibodi have sponsored this video too, because they're one of the brands I really wanted to tell you about, because they have helped me with an issue that has made me very anxious and apprehensive about doing exercise for the last few years. They've really given me, I don't know, that added assurance and confidence that I can do certain levels of exercise, and they've taken away one aspect at least of it that would put me off from even trying it. And they're a protective apparel company, and so they have active wear, swimwear, underwear, and even maternity wear as well. For instance, these are the leggings that they sent me, and these are the light to moderate absorbency. So they come in this recyclable, I might add, packaging. So my ones are the light to moderate absorbency, which means that they can take 1.5 tampons or 1 to 2 teaspoons of liquid. So if you're someone that worries about their period leakages, perhaps you have a condition that means you have heavy periods, if you have any kind of bladder, kidney, incontinence issues, this product is just going to be a bit of a game changer for you. And it goes from moisture wicking, which is more about focusing on people that, you know, worry about sweating and the odour that might come with that, all the way to the heavy overnight absorbency, which is 15 to 20 millilitres, which is equivalent to 2 tampons or 3 teaspoons. And what's great about these is not only do they give you that kind of confidence and that protection, they are reusable, and you rinse in cold water after use. Do not soak, just rinse until the water runs clear. Cold wash on a delicate cycle in a delicate bag is even better. And then no fabric softener, very clear about that. And then you just hang dry in the sun and then reuse and repeat. And I know a lot of you might be like me. If you know that there is a risk of some sort of leakage due to bladder issues, which I have, or even IBS issues, sometimes you just don't make it to the toilet in time and there's a little leakage there. These will just make you feel a bit more assured that you're not going to have that kind of public embarrassment that you all fear and dread. Because of the reasons I just mentioned, I will often wear a panty liner or a pad, even if I might not need to that day, or I'll finish the day pretty unscathed in that area. I will wear it just so I feel I've got that protection, and so I don't feel uneasy about leaving the house or being away from the toilet and that sort of thing, and it just eases that sort of anxiety that's related to that. I'm going to talk about those a bit more later because they have another product that they sent me that is brilliant as well. I think one of the main things that we have probably all experienced if we're someone with a chronic health condition is that we will have received so many very different polar opposite nuggets of advice, whether it's from GPs, personal trainers, friends, online forums, fellow sufferers. And because of that, we often feel a bit confused about what we should be doing exercise-wise. Should we be pushing ourselves? Should we be taking it easy? What is the level for us that is sensible and helpful to us and could improve our condition rather than worsening it? I think when it comes to conversations with GPs and specialists even, it's It's just so dependent on what research they've read, what research papers they've read, what kind of bias they're on, whether they believe, for instance, in the PACE school of thought, or whether they've read the articles and the case studies that debunk that theory, whether they are someone that's dealt with a lot of similar patients to you and from experience know what seems to be good advice for someone with a chronic health condition of your particular nature. And then I've gone to PTs who will say to me, oh, I look after a woman that's got a similar health condition to you and she's fine doing this exercise, it's really helped her. And you have to explain that these illnesses are usually very unique to that person. One person might have the same condition to you, but they might have a symptom that is more prominent in them than it is in you, and vice versa, or a different, slightly different list of symptoms. For instance, I have friends that have chronic fatigue syndrome and ME, but they don't have any bladder incontinence issues or recurring UTIs and things like that, and I do. So for them, that's not perhaps their main worry about doing exercise. For them, it might be possible flare-ups, it might be like a POTS related dizzy spell or fainting episode. I think it's hard because experts in certain fields sometimes think they know what works for everyone just because they've had success with one person or a few people, and it doesn't necessarily work like that. And a lot of us will have had to learn the hard way about this by pushing ourselves too far and then having to deal with the repercussions. Like very recently I went to a blogging event, and part of the evening's schedule was a fitness workout with two PTs, very enthusiastic burly blokes full of beans and energy. And I thought, right, I'm going to try and keep up with this, I'm going to try and do this will be good for me. And I couldn't do all of the exercises just because I don't bend that way, I'm quite stiff, but I wanted to give it a go. But then the next day I couldn't even move my neck or my back and had to go to an osteopath appointment and spend 50 quid, and then I was pretty much a write-off for the following week. I think I won't be alone in that. There'll be many of you that will have had that experience where they're like, I'm just about coping in the moment, I think I can do this, and then the aftermath is absolutely hellish. But actually on another blogging trip I did this yoga class, and the women went to us individually and asked us if we had any health complaints that were worth mentioning that might impact our ability to do some of the exercise, or whether we should do the exercises. And I told her about my health conditions, and then when the class was going, she made sure that there was a gentler option for me to do with every stretch that she was teaching the rest of the class. And she also gave me, well, vocalised the option that I could sit out for this bit if I wanted, which just took the pressure off. Because I think sometimes when you go to a class, when you're not vocalised to the teacher or the class that you might need to sit out for certain things, you feel embarrassed, like you think that others are thinking, she's not doing anything, why is she being lazy, why is she not getting involved, and that sort of thing. But if people are aware and you have the confidence to tell them that that's what's going to happen, it just makes it a lot easier. And so I left that class actually really enjoying the yoga experience and feeling like it kind of had helped me a little bit, but I didn't have that flare up at the end of it. So I think part of it is getting to a point where you feel comfortable expressing to people that, you know, you might not be able to do that, it might not be sensible for you to do that, and also having someone that's sympathetic to that, and finding those sort of PTs and class instructors that are sympathetic and knowledgeable about that sort of stuff, and that can perhaps offer alternative stretches for you to do. I'm a sweaty person, okay, I know I tend to overshare with you guys, so why don't I stop now? I think that is another added element that has always put me off slightly from exercise too, and just, you know, being out in public actually sometimes, because I don't just sweat from the armpits and I don't glow, like they say glow. I am sometimes drenched and dripping, and actually I seem to have very overactive sweat glands on my bum cheeks. Last summer actually, when I was in Malibu for Jen and Ben's wedding, I stupidly chose a very slinky, silky dress to wear to their wedding. Sophie Eggleton, plus silky dress plus Malibu heat equals absolute sweaty carnage. In short, I wish I'd known about Modibodi briefs back then. So these have Modify air technology, so they draw away sweat and discharge. By the way, discharge is something I'm going to do a video on because no one talks about it and we need to, okay? So be prepared for that one. It keeps you fresh all day and fights bacteria, and it just means you don't have to wear panty liners. One, good for your bank balance in the long run. Two, better for the environment. Think we should all be looking into how sustainable we can become in our daily lives, and this is just a genius way to do it. A game-changing lining, our Modify air technology in combo with our breathable moisture wicking fabric means you stay cool and fresh, and every time you wear Modibodi you're making a sustainable impact for everybody on the planet, as well as being sustainable and reusable in regards to, you know, washing and reusing rather than buying a new pad or panty liner to use every day and throwing away. Modibodi, if you look on their website, they support so many charities and initiatives, so every purchase you make of Modibodi also is helping the world in a way as well. So it just ticks every box for me, this brand, and that's why I'm just so excited about it. So this is why I like being a YouTuber, for this sort of thing. Place now where I found that for me the only exercise I can really handle is yoga, which I generally do from bed, and there's so many great YouTube videos of people that do these sorts of very short routines, sometimes only 5 minutes, but some of them go up to 20 minutes, and you can do them in the safety of your room without people seeing you and judging you if you worry about that. If you can't leave the house and you're pretty much housebound or bedbound, it's a way to just do some gentle stretches, which might be good for your mental state as much as your physical state. So I've realised that's good for me, that's a good way for me doing it, and I don't do any of like the really extreme yoga moves, no headstands, no, I don't even know the names, I'm that ill-equipped to inform you about yoga, but I really just do the gentle, very gentle stretches just to keep things moving in my body and stop them seizing up when I'm spending so much time in bed. And the other thing I do is gentle walking, which I find so important to my mental health, probably even more than my physical health. Just getting out in nature, even if it's just 5 minutes or just round the block. When I get myself in a routine of doing that whenever I feel up to it and whenever the weather allows, I definitely find myself feeling a lot better. So yes, so thank you again to Modibodi for sponsoring this video. I hope it was interesting to some of you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Any of your experiences with exercise, what you found to work for you, anything you can recommend to anyone else, or anything that concerns you about exercise with your particular health condition would be great to hear from you. So thanks for watching and supporting this video, and I'll speak to you soon.